Today's webinar is on getting ready to deliver business advisory services, a very important subject for accountancy businesses to be facing, especially following the report prepared by Deloitte on digital disruption and the recent survey of small business operators and 212 accountancy firms undertaken by CCH. Together with the general changes that are occurring in the marketplace. There is no doubt, as far as we're concerned, that clients are looking for a wider range of services from their accountants, and that is what the aim of ESS BIZTOOLS is, to assist you to deliver a wider range of products to your clients. But it's very important that you prepare your firm, your team, and your clients before you start delivering this new range of services. So the material which we're going to go back onto in a moment is going to show you the approach that we've taken at ESS BIZTOOLS to give you material to help you get ready to offer business advisory services. So we have forms for partners to evaluate the current position of their firm. We have a team member questionnaire so that you can use it to identify the team members who are interested in offering a range of services other than taxation and audit. We have developed an interview form for clients that you can either hand to the client or have a partner interview the client. We believe it is very important that you get feedback from your key clients and get them to buy in to the concept of business advisory services. Incidentally, from my own experience consulting to hundreds of clients of accountancy firms all over Australia, over 90% of your clients want these services offered to them. And one of the comments a number of them have made have been along the lines that, well, now we know that they're thinking about this, tell them we're watching them, because we hope that they're going to go ahead and introduce these types of services. Clients classification, various commentators have been talking about this for years. I think it's important that you understand who your A-class clients are in particular, and that is who you're going to offer these services to. It's also important to understand the industries that you have the highest number of clients from. Or another way of looking at it might be, what fees are you currently earning from different industry groups? Because part of the concept that we're suggesting is that your firm should be looking at some industry specializations, that team members should be evaluating how they're going to work. We believe that this is a 3-year plan to properly develop business advisory services so that it becomes 30 to 40% of your overall fee income within your firm. It's not going to happen overnight. It needs to be planned. You still need to do your annual accounts and tax returns and fringe benefit returns, etc. This is additional work. And partner delegation, our concept is that partners are the rainmakers in business advisory services and the mentors, that the people delivering it should be managers and younger accountants should be encouraged to undertake this work. So what we're going to do is to go onto the website of ESS BIZTOOLS, which I've just moved into, and we're on the paper which is built around the introduction of business advisory services, so that whenever you go to one of our papers, and there's 50 of them targeted accountants, which is what this one is, and there's 480 targeted small businesses, you receive a précis to tell you what's in that particular paper. We've gone on to the view area, which is giving us a PDF document. Each document has a set of contents. So this is an instruction paper to an accountancy firm, a guidance to help the accountancy firm start this process of introducing business advisory services. We have linkages to other papers that we've already written. We have summaries as to how we believe the process should be handled, and there are linkages to other forms. So if we click on to another form, this is a checklist for the introduction of business advisory services. So we have a guidance paper together with various forms that we've called BAS, Business Advisory Services, and a checklist to help you work your way through making sure everything has been covered. Some of you clicked on a little bit after I'd made the earlier comment. If you have any questions, can you please type them in, raise your hand, and I will try to answer the questions towards the end of the webinar. We have a checklist of attributes for A and B class clients, which will help you decide the classification of clients. We've got a summary there of sustainable competitive advantage checklist for accountancy firms, so you can look at the various items and decide what areas you may have to improve or change. And what's the foundation work that needs to be done? So there's a full list of all that which is contained within the material, and obviously if you're a subscriber to ESS BIZTOOLS, you receive all this as part of your subscription package. So we'll just go back to the beginning on that. And we'll move back into the PowerPoint slides, and the next area we want to consider is leadership. Leadership is very important. There needs to be an acceptance that business advisory services, by their very nature, are going to introduce change into your accountancy business. This is going to require a vision. The vision needs to be determined by the partners, and then it needs to be communicated to your team, to your clients, and to the wider business community where you operate from. And the key is to encourage involvement by all of your people, that they buy into this process. And that starts at the receptionist, the director of first impressions. Make sure she is aware of what the process is. Integrate the changes into the culture of the accountancy business. You're no longer just there to prepare income tax returns. You're offering a complete business advisory services package for your clients. And this needs to be talked about and become part of the culture of the firm. Leadership is all about creating that environment. We have a fair bit of material within ESS BIZTOOLS on leadership, and what I'm just going to show you now, going back to our website, is the material that's within our business advisory services area on leadership. So that's the executive summary for it. We'll just go to the PDF document. We'll show you what happens on a download a little bit later on. So here we have a paper that's been written by Peter McDougall, former Colonel in the Australian Army, the Managing Director of Leadership Academy, who is our leadership consultant for all of our material. Leadership Academy has produced 9 modules that are contained within ESS BIZTOOLS for subscribers to use. So this is the material that we are using in conjunction with the 9 modules. And McDougall has identified 8 steps to be undertaken to offer leadership to this process. It's not something that can just be left for someone within the firm to organise. It needs a strategy, it needs leadership, it needs communication, it needs commitment to ensure that all of this function is going to work appropriately. The next area we're going to move into is team training. Probably the most important area in getting ready to offer business advisory services. A little earlier I made the comment that in the main we believe that business advisory services should be delivered by managers and accountancy team people. Some firms will employ some specific professionals such as marketing consultants to be part of their team to offer business advisory services. As an aside, I believe over the next 2 to 3 years, many of you will be employing marketing officers within your firm in any case. Because if the predictions that Deloitte's have made in digital disruption are correct, and I've got no reason to dispute them, it's going to mean that firms are going to have a significant upheaval in the work that you're undertaking, and most of you, if you want to maintain your current size, are going to have to go out and secure additional work. This is going to require marketing. But in the first instance, we want to look at team training. There's a need to identify who needs to be trained. The firms I've been consulting with generally embark on an interview of each of their accountancy team people first, and then they have their complete accountancy team undertake specific training. And as part of that process, we're really working out who are the ones that have got the empathy for delivering of business advisory services, and those who would prefer to remain in taxation. And there's nothing wrong with remaining in taxation. It's still going to be the major fee component within most firms, but what we would like to see is business advisory services increased to become a very significant part. There is a balanced scorecard questionnaire. It has 50 questions in there. I recommend to firms that you have your key people complete that type of questionnaire every 6 months or so to see if their attitudes are changing towards the firm and the overall delivery of these type of products. And one of the key terms that we use in our material at ESS BIZTOOLS is product champions and industry champions. Not everyone is going to be a top-class business plan writer or key performance indicator presenter, but you need to determine within your firm who the best people are to deliver various products so that they can be, at least in these initial few years, the key people who are handling those particular products. And the other very important area is industry champions. One of the great eye-opener for a lot of accountancy businesses is when I ask them to go through and analyse how many clients they've got in particular industries and how much fee income they're currently generating from those industries. Unfortunately, most accountancy firms are unable to supply that information. But once they've gone through and undertaken that exercise, it gives you a great indicator as to where the strengths of the firm are. So our suggestion is you try to then nominate the top 5 industries that your clients belong to. And hopefully you'll find that 80% of your clients are in those top 5 industries. And then determine who are going to be the experts, the champions within the various industries, so that they are your knowledge base of what's going on in construction industry, retail, grazing, and so on. Perhaps they're going to become skilled enough that they can make presentations at industry conferences, to be able to write papers on matters pertaining to industries. In other words, to become experts in a particular industry. A great way to promote and market your firm in this whole business advisory services space. So part of the team training is trying to determine whether you've got the right people involved. Are they all on the bus, and are they seated in the right seats on the bus? Very important with this key review of the products that they're becoming expert in and the industries. And our suggestion is that each one of these people should be encouraged to develop a personal plan for the next 12 months. It might be that they're going to read or reread some of David Maister's books. It might mean that they're going to read some of the papers written by Andrew Geddes and David Smith and Rob Nixon. It might mean they're going to read Trevor Marchant's professional selling books. It might mean that they're going to go and join Toastmasters or some other similar organisation so that they can improve their public speaking ability. The next area is mentors. The key mentors, as we envisage, are the partners. And what our suggestion is that each of the product champions are allocated a mentor. And if you're not comfortable with mentoring from within the firm, perhaps you need to approach some outside people who might become part of the mentoring panel, especially if you have identified industries and are encouraging some of your accountants to become industry specialists. It might be a good idea to have someone from the industry mentoring them so they clearly do understand the problems of a particular industry. So within our material there is a full training program to take you through how your team should be trained, and part of that is mock interviews. Very important. Perhaps you can get a couple of your very friendly clients who will participate in a mock interview for you. But before you start offering this service to clients, it's very important to get the team ready. It's also important to be able to articulate to the client why suddenly the firm that's been traditionally only preparing annual accounts and income tax returns is now offering business advisory services. And that's something for you to think about. So we're going back onto the website and we're going to look at team training for business advisory services. And in this one I'm going to, there's the summary of what's included. There's a lot of material and we'll download it on the download. So what we're getting now is a set of Word documents, so that whenever you're using ESS BIZTOOLS, you've got the opportunity of downloading in a PDF, or you can download in a Word document. It takes a little bit longer to download in the Word document, but I'm just going to show you on this download how that works and what you get, so that you've got an appreciation of what's in the product. You have the paper, which is talking about some of the things that I've just summarized, and then we've got a range of services, so we might go straight to them. So the balanced scorecard, it is based on the FMRC Smithy balanced scorecard. With their permission, we've changed some of it, added to it, but it gives you the opportunity of having your team members go through and answer the questions to so that you can measure what their response to the various questions are. We have a listing of product champions. So in this one you'd be going through each individual, looking at some of those business advisory services type tasks to decide what they might be interested in, and I've run on then into the industry champions. And what we've got there is some suggestions as to what industry champions may have to do and what are some of the industries that they might consider. But the obvious one is, first of all, to determine where the clients of your firm come from. So that's the material on team training. We'll now move into products and services to offer. There's a wide range of products and services you could offer. Our recommendation is when you start to offering business advisory services, you only handle 3 to 4 at a time, and perhaps in 6 months' time you add another 3 or 4. So in the material we have commented on the types of products that are currently on the screen. And if we go back to the website of ESS BIZTOOLS, you'll see that, and what I omitted to do I think before is to really show you this overall summary here on business advisory services. On the left hand side we have the material to assist you in getting ready, which is what we're covering in today's webinar, and then on the right hand side we've got the actual products that are already within ESS BIZTOOLS, and they're going to be subject to separate webinars that we're going to be running over the next few months. So to look at the review of products or services that could be offered, there is a summary of what they are. We'll just go to view because just going to the PDFs is quicker to start the process. So, and I'll enlarge that for you, sorry. So the products are looking at checklist of some of the products that could be offered. Doesn't mean you're going to offer all those. That's a checklist we've prepared. You may have some other products you could think about offering. There's a form to assist you to identify which industry groups you've got clients involved in. And again, you might change that form to suit some of the clients you might know. We've talked about Chief Financial Officer services. We have a form to assist you in identifying what you might talk to your clients about as part of a package of Chief Financial Officer services, and that would potentially vary from client to client, but hopefully that's a reasonable checklist to give you an idea of some of the items that you might look at. And we also have a product called Strategic Management Consultancy. That is probably more at partner level, to act as a de facto executive director for clients, trying to assist them to achieve their business objectives, their vision over the next 3 to 4 years. So that's how the review of products and services operates. The material also includes an SME Needs Analysis. This again is based on the FMRC Smith Inc. Needs Analysis document. We've expanded it. It includes a summary of some of the products that you might consider for your clients, and we really see this as being used as a menu of services that you could indicate to your client that you have all these services available for them, and allow them to basically go through and identify what they would like to talk to you about doing. So we'll go straight through to the form. So this is the SME Needs Analysis form that we suggest you work through with your client. The first thing is to review the current business performance. And some of this may throw ideas to the client as to some of the work they might like undertaken. For argument's sake, they might zero in on debtors' days outstanding and say, well, you know, we've just calculated that our days are 62 days, even though the average according to Dun & Bradstreet is 55 days. That's bad enough. But then what that would open up is how you can assist them to try to reduce that debtors days outstanding from 62 days, preferably down to 30, but even 40 would be far better. We've got taxation planning covered, and then we start looking at the future. What sort of future planning is the client looking at? Business plans, budgets, business valuations. What about wealth creation, risk management? Do they have sickness and accident cover? Have they got buy-sell agreements in place? Have they reviewed the insurance covers? Are there wills? What about succession and estate planning? And then we move into business improvement, financing, a whole range of activities. And really, I defy you to sit down with a serious client and work through a list like this and not be able to get some business assignments out of it. Now, when you first start offering business advisory services, you might delete some of these items from the list of services that you offer a client if you're not going to supply them, or alternatively, you enter into an arrangement with someone else, another supplier, who agrees not to pinch your client, so that you can still ensure that the services are offered to the client. So what we've done up to now is look at the products, look at the services, look at the training, look at the preparation. Now, none of this is going to happen unless there's marketing. Even though there's been survey after survey from either MYOB, universities, and now CCH that have identified that clients need these additional services. Accountants are still going to have to market to their clients that they are prepared to supply these services. One of the speakers at the Smith Inc. 2020 conference at Service Paradise in February made the comment in his presentation that he'd had a client for 15 years. He was reviewing the P&L account and identified that there was $26,000 in the P&L account referred to as professional advice. He rang the client and inquired what was this for, and he said, I've hired a coach and he's done a great job for me. The accountant said to him, we could have done those services for you. The response was, let's call him Jack. Jack, I've been your client for 15 years. You have never mentioned to me that your firm does anything other than accountancy, accounts preparation and tax returns. And you do a very good job of that. But you've never told me that you were interested in being a coach and a mentor to my wider business operations. I think that really summarizes a very important lesson that Jack got, and also everyone else that was attending that conference. Accountants need to start marketing strategies. You need to create a disturbance in your clients' minds by identifying some of the additional services that you could provide to them. But this has got to be delivered by enthusiastic team members who really want to be involved in this space. If they don't want to offer business advisory services, don't force them. Let them stay with the tax returns. And you need to be able to tell the client a story, why this is going to help their business. Your team are going to become the chief financial officer for your clients. So part of the strategies is that we're going to suggest you hold some seminars to promote to your A-class clients. There's going to be one-on-one meetings with those clients where you go through and use the needs analysis list to identify the work that needs to be done. But then it's very important that there's a written proposal and a quotation. This sort of work I don't believe can be done the way some of you may have been doing your tax return work, that you don't have an annual quotation and you bill what's in your work in progress. Some of these fees will be quite substantial. You need to get the client's acceptance before you start. You need to get their acceptance to progress payments. You should always follow up proposals and make sure you're getting testimonials, because this is new work and you need to be able to promote that you're doing it. Put some articles on your website. Have the product champions write some material to be included on your website and in your newsletter. And start the arrangements with industry associations by giving them some articles and accepting invitations to speak at industry events. Now, there's a fair bit in all that, but marketing is very important. So we do have a module on marketing. Don't forget, if you have any questions, please type them out and send them through, and I'll answer them at the end of the webinar. So that's a summary there of what's in the marketing area. So the marketing material, the guidance paper, is covering all those issues that are listed in the content. We have a checklist for a marketing services plan. Part of it's preparing some information kits on the sort of products that you're going to make available. And we've got some suggested wording for those kits, which I'm going to show you shortly. And there's a checklist of the conversion rate techniques to use. It's very important that you follow up. It's very important that you make a certain number of calls. Not all of your clients initially are going to accept these services. Don't get discouraged. Keep on going. Prepare some scripts and dialogues to present to the clients. Use that SME needs analysis. That's why it's been prepared, to help you have this conversation with your clients as to what these services are that you can offer. The next area we're going to is the seminar to launch business advisory services. Our suggestion is that you have a seminar with your A-class clients. Probably no more than 20 at a time. Break them up into groups, because you don't want to suddenly have 20 clients wanting business plans done, especially when you're starting this process. So it's better to have a smaller group, maximum of 20, talk to them, and then get another lot of group of clients in a couple of months' time and talk to them, and hopefully there will be work that flows out of it. Our suggestion is that a partner should be the master of ceremonies, the chairman at the seminar. Seminar should only last no more than 75 minutes. But the key presentations should be made by the product champions, and we've got some material to help them make those presentations. We've got scripts already prepared. So we've got scripts on the various products, and we've got suggestions on the handouts that you might make on the various products. And what you'll be able to explain at the seminar is how you're going to assist the client. After the seminar, you're going to invite them in for a one-on-one meeting. You're going to use the SME needs analysis. You're going to help the client identify the services. And then, so that they fully understand what this is all going to cost them, they're going to get a written proposal, quotation, and a work timetable. So you can't be any more transparent than that in making the client aware of why you're doing all this. So if we go back onto our website, we've got a seminar material which is going through a whole range of things. Then we've got all these handouts that are included. So if we just go on to the PDFs, which is easier to get through, and I'm just going to move straight through to the key part of the material. So here's a script that could be used by the partner that's acting as the MC to use to issue to open the function. Now, obviously, most of you, and hopefully all of you, can prepare your own material, but we've included the script in case you might need it to assist. But don't stand up and read this, please. Remember it, and then deliver it without reading it. Deliver it from the heart, so your clients can see that you're fair income. Then we've got a handout. On the new service that you're going to offer. Then this is a sample of a script we're prepared for the product champion on business health check. And again, they shouldn't read it, remember it and deliver it. Take about 3 to 4 minutes to make a presentation to the clients. And obviously we've got comments here. If they're using Profit Optimizer, you'd make some specific comments. If you're not using Profit Optimizer, obviously you change the presentation. But the material's there ready for use. Then you've got the handouts on business health check, which you might put into a brochure type document. That's the idea of that. Then we've got the scripts on budget and cash flow forecasts and so on, covering 12 different products. Then what we have within the material is some hints on how to sell these products. So we've done the marketing for the clients, but you're then going to need to sell business advisory services to them. This is professional selling, and we believe that accountants need to accept selling as being an important part of their product knowledge, their skills that they've got, so that selling can become part of the everyday operation. Business advisory services is not going to be forced on the clients by some external organisation like the government and the Australian Taxation Office. You're going to have to satisfy the client that they really need this product and they're prepared to pay for it. And this is going to cost them probably a lot more money than what they're currently paying you if they embark on a range of business advisory services. So they need to be sold. But in the first instance, you need to get organised, and that's why we've listed that on the screen there. So all that I've listed there on those 2 screenshots needs to be undertaken before you can start selling. Obviously, you need to have some confidence. You need to be sure in your own mind that you and your team understand the products that you're now going to be offering to your clients. You need to know that everyone's been trained to deliver it and that there's some industry knowledge. And one of the more common comments that I get when I interview small, medium enterprise operators about the service they receive from their accountants is a comment that goes along the lines that I want my accountant to know more about my business than my profit and loss account. I want them to know more about my business, my P&L account. And that means you need to have some industry knowledge. You need to know what the key performance indicators are. You need to have the sort of knowledge that you'd probably have or you wouldn't last if you were the accountant or the chief financial officer within your client's business. There is a lot more services that accountants can offer than preparing an annual set of accounts and a tax return and doing a fringe benefit tax return. Whenever you make one of these proposals, though, it's important that you do what salespeople do. You have a closing. You contact the client again. You get their response. Just don't send them the quote, and if you don't hear from them, say, oh, they're not interested. They may well be interested. They may want to have a further discussion with you. They will probably feel that they need a bit of loving comfort coming from you, that this is just not a con job, that you're very serious. So part of that is that you're offering this package of services, and please don't start any of this until your team's ready. Now, conversions are very important. All salespeople talk about, having to approach 10 people to get 3 prospects and get 1 sale. It's part of life, and it will also occur in selling business advisory services, but it will be helped by your conviction, your self-belief, your understanding of your clients and the industry, and more importantly, how you follow up. And the activity level, the information you start putting into your newsletters and your website. Some of your clients may hesitate at first and say, oh no, we'll see how this goes. But if they start reading about it on your website and in your newsletters, and hopefully some of their colleagues start talking to them in the pub or at their golf club or at their Rotary meetings or at their bingo or wherever they go for some entertainment, they will be more inclined to come back and talk to you. So we think the conversions will be assisted if you use the scripts that we've used and given to our subscribers. The SME Needs Analysis is very important because it will lead the client to the detailed evaluation of the products that you're offering. Try and get testimonials from every client that you work with in the business advisory services. Most importantly, ask for the business. And don't go thinking that selling is bad. Selling is good. In some public companies, the highest paid officer is the sales executives, not the CEO. That's because you can't run any business unless there is sales, unless there is income. I think selling is a very underrated profession. So don't believe it's unprofessional. You do need it. We've all been lucky in accountancy for many years because the clients have really been encouraged to go to accountants by the taxation office. So back onto our website, we have the material to guide you in selling, and quickly we'll just look at that. So there is a paper which I've skipped through. There's guidelines for submitting a proposal as to how we think the selling should be done. So client needs a written proposal. There should be follow-up with the client. We have got some different packages included in what we're suggesting. There's a gold package of bundle services. There's a silver package that you obviously can change to suit your requirements. There's a bronze package. The whole idea is to try to get clients on the sum basis. And there's a 25-step that we call the workflow process for business advisory services checklist. So hopefully that will assist you in planning how you might go about this. We've covered a fair bit of material today in trying to give you an introduction as to what's involved within introducing business advisory services to an accountancy business. Subscriptions to ESS BIZTOOLS are in different packages. There are different services. You can see all of these on our website, www.essbiztools.com.au. The gold subscription includes everything, including our government grant package. And there are other packages which offer different levels of service. We are running a series of webinars. This was the first one in this series on product-specific webinars, and there are the dates and times for a further 5 webinars that we're running between now and the 22nd of August. If you're interested in those, can you please go onto our website and log on to register for the webinars so that you can participate. We are also preparing to launch a new product which we're proposing to launch from towards the end of July. We're calling it Business Advisory Services Implementation Program. We're doing this because a number of firms around Australia have been contacting us and asking us to give very close assistance to them in actually getting their team ready. We've decided to try to do this through a series of webinars. So there'll be a weekly webinar of 2 hours over 5 weeks, 2 hours every week. And we're going to follow that up with a Skype individual mentoring. So it's not webinar as such, it's a Skype mentoring for about 30 minutes, whereby the team that you all have had participating would be able to discuss the issues. The key thing is to make sure that what we've raised in the webinar is being actually implemented, and if there's any queries or any peculiarities for your particular firm, that we can answer them. Now, this particular program is going to be delivered by myself on the general products that are within ESS BIZTOOLS. But Peter McDougall, the CEO of the Leadership Academy, is going to present a session on leadership strategies for offering business advisory services. And Trevor Marchant, the Managing Director of Marchant Dallas, Marketing and Professional Selling Consultants, is going to present the marketing and selling strategies. Now, we have a number of firms that have already expressed an interest in participating in these sessions. If you are interested in receiving the information on what's involved, can you please send me an email at peter@essbiztools.com.au, and we will get back to you and advise you of the details and the cost.